Pittsburgh Steelers start sit. Week 14 fantasy advice for Aaron Rodgers, Jaylen Warren, DK Metcalf, Jonnu Smith, and others. The fantasy football landscape shifts each week, bringing fresh opportunities and unexpected challenges that separate the prepared from the pretenders. Savvy managers know that last week's performance tells only part of the story, and diving deeper into the underlying metrics reveals the accurate picture. This week presents some intriguing decisions. Here's insight about key Pittsburgh Steelers players heading into their matchup with the Baltimore Ravens to help you craft a winning lineup. Aaron Rodgers, QB. This has a real Brett Favre in his sunset feel to it, and I just don't love seeing Hall of Fame caliber players go out on their shield like this. Aaron Rodgers was a bloody mess working through Sunday's game against the Bills, the third time in 4 contests in which he averaged under 6 yards per pass. He finished November with 3 touchdown passes in 4 games, and has yet to reach 250 yards through the air once in 2025. The Ravens boast the 6th best red zone defense in the NFL, and with Rodgers unable or unwilling to attack vertically, 1 deep completion on 14 attempts over his past 4 games, it's hard to talk yourself into anything but another dud. Some retire from the game, some have the game retire them. Jaylen Warren, RB. Jaylen Warren ran for a TD in consecutive games, helping mask stat lines that were otherwise gross. 3.7 yards per carry with a 5% catch rate. And, while that's great, the floor feels at risk of falling out. We haven't seen a 15-plus yard run from Warren in 4 of his past 5 games, and he has been worked out of the passing role that we entered the season assuming was safe. He had 142 receiving yards through 3 weeks to open the season, and has just 86 since, 14 over his past 3 games. We need that rectified quickly so he can retain our B2 status. The Ravens' defense is trending up, and in Warren's last game against them, 66.2% of his PPR points came through the passing game. I'm nervous, but he does slide just inside of my top 20 at the position, and is the only Steeler that I'm starting in Week 14. DK Metcalf, WR. We are heading into Week 14, and DK Metcalf has had one top 30 performance since the strong showing in Week 8, WR 12. You can blame him, Rodgers, or Arthur Smith. I don't really care because none of it is going to be fixed right now, which is why I'm looking for reasons not to start him, if at all possible. The Ravens' defense isn't elite, but they profile well for this matchup, are ranking top 10 against short passes in terms of completion percentage, IPA, and touchdown rate. Metcalf hasn't reached 15 expected PPR points in a game this season, and has just 7 end zone looks, 6 seasons in Seattle, 17.3 end zone targets per season. I have him hovering around into R30 this week, a damning statement given the injuries and 4 teams on bye. Would I rather have a handful of short targets to him or a few deep shots to Alec Pierce at JX? Chris Godwin looked spree in his return from injury, and that's a receiver with a similar route tree that I'd prefer versus no this week. I'm not benching him for Trey Tucker or Devonvale types, but if you have someone in the same general range, try not to be a slave to the resume. Jonnu Smith, TD. I'm done with everything touching Pittsburgh's passing game. We've been off the TE carousel for a while, but if you need the data, Jonnu Smith ran 13 routes over the weekend, 4 more than Pat Freiermuth, and 7 fewer than Darnell Washington. Smith was schemed up at a low level to open the season, but he hasn't caught more than 3 passes in a game since Week 2, and hasn't had a 15-yard catch since Week 3. There's no quantity or quality to chase in this offense as a whole, and that especially holds true for a TE room that is splitting its reps 3 ways.